humbug! Hello everyone, Scrivener here. It seems to have become an end-of-year tradition for us, for at least one of us to talk about the books that we read the past year. I read 22 books in total this year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but considering that last year I probably read like less than 10, I'm really proud of myself for getting that many done. And so I wanted to go ahead and review the books I read this year with you guys, and tell you some of my general thoughts and whether or not I think you should read them or not. Let us begin. First off, we have Smut by Karina Halley. Oh boy, this was fun. It was definitely very straight girl, geek influences in this book, but I still really enjoyed it. I thought that the smut was very enjoyable, and in audiobook form, it was very fun. Wishful Drinking by Carrie Fisher. This is basically a transcription of her one-woman show, Wishful Drinking. It's funny and it's really good and I would recommend it, especially the audiobook if you can get your hands on it, because she reads the audiobook. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. It actually really did help me with tidying up some, and it's a quick read. It's not going to take you very long to get through it, so yes, I would recommend it. Carol by Patricia Highsmith. I wanted to read this because I saw the movie when it came out, and I liked it. Just as Cate Blanchett is very pretty, and like, anyways, that's not important right now. Patricia Highsmith. Her works are always very dense, and so listening to it in an audiobook format was actually really helpful for getting through it. It is a nice gay story, especially a nice young queer story, and neither of them die. It's great. Shadow Shaper by Daniel Jose Older. This book was so interesting! I can't believe I'd never heard about it before, and Anika Nani Rose reads the audiobook. She was amazing. Paige and I are gonna make this into a movie with Rosario Dawson. Okay? The main character is an Afro-Latina teenager, so Rosario Dawson can't play that character, but she will be in it, and Paige and I are going to do it. We will do it in like, I don't know, 20 years or something. Anyways, you should read it, it's so good. Jacobi by William Ritter. It was alright. Definitely influenced by Doctor Who and Sherlock and Supernatural to an extent. It's fun for a mindless listen. It's okay. Boy Meets Boy by David Levithan. The audiobook for this was also really interesting because it was like a full cast production. It wanders into like magical realism almost. Like that's how strange the world is. It's set in a high school where almost everybody is queer and it's totally okay. The star quarterback is a trans woman who's like desired by the entire football team. It is a fun queer YA book. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. There were some parts I liked, there were some parts I didn't. I mean, it's okay. It's alright. The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick. I read this because I love the movie, and actually I kind of think I like the movie more. The audiobook was still very good. Hugo is definitely more likable in the movie. I still thought it was a really nice story, and it's a very quick read, and it's a very nice children's book. A Caribbean Mystery by Agatha Christie. It was alright. It's not my favorite Agatha Christie novel because it's set in the Caribbean. There's some weird stuff about race in there that's like, so not my favorite. Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This book is so good. Oh my god, it's so good. I listened to the audiobook. It's fantastic. Trevor reads it and he does all the accents and he speaks the languages, but also Paige got me a signed copy and I love it. He's hilarious and there's a lot of really good stuff in there about apartheid and his mom and who he is and race, and it was just really good. Definitely recommend. Mr. Loverman by Bernadine Evaristo. There was a lot of really beautiful language that I enjoyed. It was also told from the perspective of two different characters, but they kind of moved opposite directions in time. That was interesting. There was also like a point of view change in the sense that one was told in first person and one was told in second person. It wasn't the best book that I read this year, but I did enjoy it. Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Okay, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I had never read this before, and it is so good. It's part of the Poirot mysteries, and I love Poirot. I think I might like Poirot a little bit more than Miss Marple. It's a really great setup. Would definitely recommend, especially if you like murder mysteries. Also, you should know that I've listened to both the original audiobook and Kenneth Branagh's, and both of them are very good. Kenneth Branagh did a much better job with the audiobook and the voices than I thought he was going to, and it was a very pleasant surprise. Jane of Austen, a novel of sweet tea and sensibility by Hilary Manton Lodge. This was a modern adaptation set in Austin, Texas of Sense and Sensibility. It was pretty cute. It was nice. The sisters run a tea shop and I loved that. So it just appeals to my desires to have a small business like that. It was a fluffy read and I liked it. Coraline by Neil Gaiman. First of all, Neil Gaiman does a great job reading his own book. Go figure. It was haunting and creepy, and Coraline was an awesome protagonist. So Coraline could be a little emotionally reserved sometimes, but I really felt like that was more probably just because of Gaiman's own individual writing style. It took me so long to finally read this book, but it was just so good. I would definitely recommend Coraline. The next two, Queens of Geek and Geekarella, I reviewed with my friend Kathy in a buddy read collab, so you should go ahead and just check those out. But I will say, I enjoyed both of them. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Oh man, it was so good. I'm astounded by how good of a writer John is, and like how much he doesn't rely on the same things that he's already written before to make new things. It felt incredibly personal in a way that was very intense, but it was fantastic. And if you haven't read it yet, you should. Also, I freaking love Daisy and the excellent points that she makes about Star Wars interspecies fan fiction and different standards. I mean, I'd never thought about it before. And I'm glad that John Green took the time to put that in the book. The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Another Neil Gaiman book. My second Neil Gaiman book. I need to read more Neil Gaiman books. Stardust is next for me. Don't worry. This one was also really great. It had this ancient mystery to it and feeling of like, well, this has always been here. I'm just bringing your attention to it again. Even though that's not the case. And the story was terrifying in parts, but a fun kind of like literary terrifying. Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I cannot recommend the audiobook for this one enough. It is such a fantastic audiobook production. It does it justice. I read it because Kathy and Paige read it for another buddy read that they did earlier this year. At first I thought it was gonna be really trite. It's about beauty queens who get stranded on an island and like a Lord of the Flies kind of deal, but like, it's better than that. It's actually really, really good. The Man Who Invented Christmas by Les Standiford. I've already kind of reviewed this one. I really liked it. Good Christmas read, good historical read. Yes. Bisexual finger guns. Finally, we have Take Me Home for Christmas by Brenda Novak. This was my annual Christmas romance pulp book, and it was okay. It was alright. It was okay. It wasn't like Christmassy enough for me to feel like it satisfied my Christmas pulp read, so I'm probably gonna read another Christmas pulpy book, but you know.
Maybe once she got back on her feet and recovered her emotional strength, she could handle something this powerful.
Yes, I'm so proud of you! That's my girl! It's my girl! It was about this woman whose abusive husband goes on the run because he stole $60 million from investors, and then he ends up dead. Then she gets hired by her ex-boyfriend as a housekeeper, and then they get together because of course they do, and it's cute. You've had the worst year ever. You deserve a fine man to kiss for a little bit. It's nothing great, but it was fun. And that concludes it. Who knows if I'll manage to fit in another book before the end of the year. But thank you guys for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed seeing how many books I read. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, or if you're thinking of reading any of them because I mentioned them. And subscribe to The Princess and the Scrivener for more videos on Disney, intersectional feminism, pop culture critiques, and more. The Princess will see you tomorrow.
But he was just reaching for Sophia's sweater so he could help her get it on when his mother walked into the room. I wouldn't expect to find my son having sex in the living room.
Why the hell not? He's a grown-ass man!